we were one of the pioneers of Forex in Botswana. This is what contributes to my, I don't know whether I should say downfall or my weaknesses. I was home, depressed. My wife was there for me through thick and thin, tough as it was. That's when you start realizing your true strength. You start realizing you need to focus more. You start realizing that you are on your own. You start realizing that nobody owes you anything. And those words were the words that made me to really push. They turned me into a beast. I'm like, there's no way I'm disappointing my women. I have to go all in and sell the car, sell everything if push comes to shove.
We've noticed that 59% of our regular viewers are currently not subscribed to the channel. If this channel has provided any form of valuable information or added any value to your life, you can show your support by merely hitting that subscribe button. So please do consider subscribing. Enjoy today's episode. I'm sure in the hood when you come, people are always like, no, Sledge is coming now. No, King Pin.
And every time when I was growing up, I was the only Sledge. And then when I started moving around, I thought, there's another Sledge here, another one there. So I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
It's a weird name though, but I love it. What can I?
Yeah, it is. When I heard it for the first time, I don't know if I asked you, I was like, is that your first name? I don't know. I was a bit confused when you said Sledge. I'm like, hey, Sledge. Okay, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, we on?
Yeah, no, we've been on.
You?
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, all the way from Botswana, by the way. From not international, Marayo, across the border there.
Yeah. All the way from Botswana. From a village called Totome. That's where I literally grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. How are you doing though?
I'm good, man.
Yeah.
I'm good. Thanks for having me, by the way.
Thank you.
I know it's not everyone who comes here.
Yeah.
I'm really honored to be one of your esteemed guests.
Yes, and our first guest from Botswana.
I'm humbled.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
You're paving the way for the people in Botswana. But I think I'm really excited about the conversation because we got to talk a little bit yesterday and even before we started shooting. And I can tell already that, hey, this is going to be rather an interesting one.
I hope so. And I believe so. Yeah, man, this Forex thing is really the thing now. Yeah, like you're saying, all we're trying to do is break all the stereotypes, the red tape and the whatnot, so that more and more people can actually see that this thing is doable, you know?
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah,
so I think we just going to go back a bit, introduce you to people as well, let people get to know who Sledge is, where Sledge comes from. Yeah, because I know you from a small village, an actual village. Actual village. What's the village life like? The financial markets wait for no one, but with the right tools, you'll never get left behind. And that is where the Octa trading app comes into play. Craft your strategy, analyze the market, execute with accuracy with Octa. Also awarded the 2024 Most Trusted Broker in South Africa. Now that's a broker I trade with, and that's a broker that you should be trading with. What are some of the things I look for when choosing a broker? Transparent trading conditions, fast deposits and withdrawals, a diverse range of instruments. Bro, did you hear that? No? Just me, I guess. And a user-friendly interface designed for easy navigation and efficient trading. Okay, I get it. I hope you do too. Download the Octa trading app today and use the promo code MarketMasters to get your 100% deposit bonus. Elevate your trading with Octa.
I come from a village called Totome. It's in the northern part of Botswana. And people always think Botswana re bua Setswana hela. Like there's other different languages. Like there's Sesotho, people from the Chove area, there's CAE, people from the Ngamiland area. I'm from a tribe called Bakalaka. So I speak Kalanga, though we are all Botswana. You know, I don't want to be like I'm tribalistic, but I just want to be aware of that. So yeah, I grew up in Totome. Village life it was crazy because back in those days we didn't have electricity. We didn't have I'm 43. This month is my birthday month. I'll be turning 44.
Yeah.
So like this is like many years that we grew up without electricity, water, like no water. We used to have stand pipe here and there, but we would drink water from the river, like with a wheelbarrow, firewood, no stove. Luckily, my parents had a small 2-burner stove, so they don't waste the gas. But that's typically how it was in the village. It was tough growing up, you know. And I think a lot of people take it for granted to be in the city. If you're in the city, you have so many opportunities and so much access to things. And I think with me, I got lucky because my dad lives here. And from that young age, I knew there was that village life. But when schools closed, like school holidays, I would come to Joburg, right? And I think with that kind of balance, I managed to realize, okay, it's not as bad as I think. You get to appreciate the city life and the village life.
So obviously you go through life, high school. I know that I read through your bio and realized that you were an A student in high school. Is that correct?
Yes. Let me just take you down memory lane.
Yes.
1988, I was doing standard 1, right? No crash, nothing whatsoever.
Straight
to standard 1.
Okay.
You just meet this new faces because in my village, right, our house is at where the village almost starts. So it's like you have to walk 5 kilometers to get to the school. So most of the students, because they somehow knew one another. For me, it was like a totally, horrible experience because you are just taken to school, you don't know anyone, but okay, you meet each other and then you start getting to know each other, you start writing your name, and then you realize, it's not as bad as I thought. It was so horrible because there was some, or should I say funny, for lack of a better word, some students would just run, like literally cry to be at school the whole day. They just want to get it over and done with.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize when you are grown up that you need to take your kids to kindergarten or creche, as some may call it. But I started from primary, a school called Tutume New School. It was still relatively new. Not relative, like literally new. And I did standard 1, 1988. We fast forward grade 7. I was just an A student throughout.
Okay.
I remember 1989. I was so naughty, right? I broke my leg. So I went to a hospital called Nyangago in Francistown. Francistown is like the second city.
Okay.
They couldn't what's the word? They couldn't figure out what was wrong with my leg. Like back in the day, the healthcare in Botswana was not so bad. So my dad had to take me to Baragwanath.
Oh, yeah.
Chris Honey now,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so that's where I got, this is like first term. So I missed the whole of grade 2. But because I was smart enough, my teacher was like, no, let him go. And then, fortunately, the leg got healed on time, like within that year.
Okay.
Then December, I went back home, Emakaya, in Tutune. And I continued grade 7, I got A, Form 2, A. I think also because of how my father was, my parents, we were living with our mom, or with my mom. And she's also a very strict woman. My dad also was very strict. He always said, you have to study, you have to read, you have to focus. I was like a bookworm,
Okay.
Like, yeah, I've always been like that. And I love things that challenge me all the time. I don't love doing the same thing over and over and over. And yeah, my upbringing was like that. And then I went to Form 5, which is like your matric. I got first class. And then University of Botswana, you start meeting other people again, a whole new experience. Varsity life is crazy.
Yeah.
Just the other day, I was telling people that if they were like, you are nothing, go to varsity and you are from a village, like some of us. You'll be with students in the same class and they'll be driving your parents' dream cars. And you're like, oh, okay. But what do you have to do? You just have to keep on pushing.
Yeah. Take it as motivation rather than just envying other people, what other people have.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a thing about envy, I have an issue when, I don't know if you've seen how girls always, when girls see other girls on social media be like, whatever prayer she prayed, even me, Lord. I'm like, yeah, but that's cute and all, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes for this person to appear like this. So I always tell people, mind your own business, run your own race. Yes, be motivated by what you see outside, but don't envy it. Don't wish to be in that person's shoes. Rather be in your own shoes. Walk your own walk.
Absolutely.
Your own path. Because, hey, you don't know, for them to be driving those cars, what's happening after
hours. You don't know what
it
takes to be like them.
Yeah.
You don't know what they do behind the scenes, like you said. Yeah. So you have to stay in your lane, focus. You can take the envy as motivation.
Okay.
And try to focus on your thing, whatever you are doing, and then the universe will make a way for you.
Yeah. You play chess?
Yeah. I started playing chess when I was 14 in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played up to, I think I played for the national under 17 and under 23 national team.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then, I play chess, and it's a beautiful game.
It is a beautiful game.
I was lucky to have a coach who was from the UK.
Okay.
He was my science teacher, my class teacher, and my chess coach. So, he really groomed us from that age, like 13, 14. And his name is Mr. John Toscano. And I would say he played a very pivotal role in my life, because he would literally take us from Kototomi, right? Which is like 500 kilometers from Gibbs, Gaborone, in his own car, own budget, and then arrange accommodation for us, and then feed us. Yeah, like literally everything. So he also, that man, he was like a father figure, because my father was here, right? And in the village, they were like, this guy is always rolling with this, I don't know whether I should say white guy or whatever, but with this Lekhuwa guy, and they didn't know what I was learning from him. I had access to laptops through him, because we would play chess on the computer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, back in those days. And at school, you didn't have access to computers, right? So we play chess, he would give us books. We would read. As a kid, you just get fascinated by learning new things. And he would tell us this guy called Garry Kasparov is the greatest chess player in the world. And then you just get motivated. I actually met Garry Kasparov. If you Google him, you will see. He's like the best chess player that has ever, from Russia.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then this is like 20 years after Mr. John Toscano had spoken about him. We just thought, these are just people from books. And we could, like in the chess community, right? It's run by a federation called FIDE. They have tournaments. So these tournaments, they're international. And these grandmasters, like the best chess players, they just like a Grand Prix for
Yes.
Formula One. There's also those kind of tournaments. And when they play, they record the games. And Mr. Toscano had access to those games. Like he had subscribed for some magazine called New in Chess. They would just literally post them to him, and he would give them to us. So yeah, you can imagine like the exposure I got from that age. I would say you somehow lucky in a way.
Yeah. How does that, being exposed like that eventually translate into your life growing up as a person, into your adulthood? How do you take that kind of exposure? Because I'd like to believe eventually, your mind was opened up in such a way that when you got to varsity, after varsity, where did you go? Work?
I went to work for some company called DeFi.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to your question, how does that play a role in my life as an adult? I would say I always tell people that chess is right? Like life is a war. You are at war with whatever is being thrown at you. So in a chess game, people just see things that look like pieces, like dolls or whatever, and then it's black against white. The white makes the first move. You shake hands. That is humbling. Like you have to shake hands. You play, and then there's different openings and whatnot. And then you play. Let me just fast forward. You just play, and then if you lose, still you have to shake hands. Yeah. And then you have to go back and rectify your mistakes. So in life, it's also like that. You play your game, and then, you live your life, give it your all. When you lose, you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, this is where I went wrong. Like you can be an adult, and due to peer pressure, you start making mistakes. You drink, you do that. I'm not saying drinking is a problem, but maybe you drink irresponsibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you get in a car crash and you die, that's like a checkmate in chess. Like it's over, game over. You've lost your life. And if you rectify your mistake, I shouldn't drink, or I shouldn't abuse alcohol, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do things I shouldn't be doing, you realize, okay, from all this mistake that I've been making, this is what contributes to my, I don't know whether I should say downfall or my weaknesses. Yeah, so that's how basically chess has played a role in my life. And it also exposes you, because Mr. Toscano would literally take us to Zimbabwe, Namibia, to play chess tournaments. Other cultures, you see how people do things. Like in Joburg Park, you know Joburg Park, right?
Where?
CBD. Downtown Joburg.
Oh, Joburg, okay.
Just next to Hillbrow.
Yeah.
There used to be a park there called Joburg Park.
Okay.
There's this giant chess sets, like chess pieces, you know them, like big.
No, I know them, yeah.
Yeah, you go there, play with other people you don't know. It exposes you to a lot. Like you travel, we used to, at university, we used to play in Swaziland, Lesotho. The first time I went to Swaziland, I was playing chess. The first time I went to Lesotho, I was playing chess. The first time I went to Zimbabwe, I used to go with my grandma.
Okay.
Yeah, because she was, she used to live there. So yeah, basically that's how chess has shaped my life. Yes.
No, that is so beautiful, actually. So you start working, your professional career starts, you start working. When do you interact with Forex? At which point?
Okay. I think 1998, I had come here. 1998, I was doing Form 4. This is like grade 11, right?
Okay.
Form 5 is like matric.
Okay.
So I was listening to Metro FM, and I'm like, okay, there was a DJ called Semi T. So he was playing on Metro, and then out of the blues, he's like, do you guys, can anyone who, like, he was talking to his listeners, and he's like, anyone who knows what the Dow Jones is, please call me. And I'm like, I always see Dow Jones. And there was a time I saw my dad wearing these things, these jackets with no sleeves.
Okay.
Yeah, like Dow, and it's written Dow Jones. Okay. I just thought it's just a name. Then people started calling in. some got it wrong, and then eventually Semiti was like, Semiti is actually from Zim.
Okay.
Yes, I had been following his career throughout.
I see.
He used to work for a radio station called Radio Botswana, him and Fresh, before they came here. So I followed him to Metro. So I'm listening right here in Joburg. I'm like, okay. Then people started calling in. Dow Jones is like the top 30 companies in the US. Okay. The top 30 industrial companies. And then I'm like, oh, okay. Then and then I'm like, okay, cool. But after that, I started doing a bit of research and things like that. And then at varsity, by default, I had wanted to go into, not by default, I had wanted to pursue a career in the sciences. Like,
Okay.
But that year it was so tough to get into that area.
Yeah.
Because we had, it's going to be a long story. We had two groups competing for the same space at varsity.
Okay.
Why? Because we were the last group not to go for national service. The previous group before us, the one that did matric before us, they went for national service. After they finished, we were not going for national service. Like there was a program in Botswana where they say, okay, if you finish your Form 5, you have to go and serve, like in agriculture, as a teacher, as a whatever field, or somewhere in hospital, just for you to get a bit of experience for 1 year.
Okay.
So we were the last group not to go.
Yeah.
So before us, there was a group that went for this national service. And then when they were done, we were done with our Form 5. Same year. This is like 1999. And then 2000, we have to compete for places because our government sponsors us at varsity. They pay for everything.
Really?
Yeah, for free. There are some programs which are grants, like for the sciences, because it's I would say a special area.
Okay.
It's a grant. You don't pay it back. Some you pay back, but nobody really pays. And the government has been doing that forever. So anyway, we start competing for places at varsity. By the way, when I was doing Form 5, I didn't want to go to University of Botswana. I wanted to go to the US. Right?
Okay.
My dad was like, you are not going. I did everything. I went to the American embassy, applied for some school called where Kofi Annan. I don't know if you know Kofi Annan. He used to be the former Secretary General of the UN.
Okay.
So he used to school at this college called Macalester University in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the US. I'd done my research, everything. I want to go to the varsity, to school where Kofi Annan was, because I knew I could do it, right? And then my dad was like, no, you are not going. I had done everything, went to the embassy, applied, and then I got the letter. All I had to do was write an SAT test and then go into, like, the American guys would literally pay for everything if you pass the SAT test. And it wasn't hard, right? So my dad said, no, you're not going anyway. If you go there, you'll never come back. Smart as you are, these guys are going to take you forever from us. I was like, okay. Because for me to write the test, I had to pay like, I think it was close to 2,000, 1 point something, which was a lot of money. And there was no way I could get the money. So I was stuck with the University of Botswana.
Okay.
Then I had applied for the sciences. My second choice was accounting. So they took me for the accounting program.
Yeah.
And then after we got our scholarships and everything, they were like, no, you can now switch to the sciences. I thought, it was too late. Let me just stick with this business thing. But I wasn't really motivated. I was just doing it just to let time pass by. But I started loving it. And then that's when I started realizing, okay, the US stocks, UK stocks, Dow Jones, You remember the Dow Jones story? Okay, and then I'm like, oh, okay. We're being taught these things at some course, and then I was like, oh, okay, this is how this thing works. And then I just got intrigued by the markets. When they say the markets, what are they really talking about? And then they'll be like, Bill Gates is the richest person in the world. In that time, Microsoft. Then I'm like, okay, Microsoft is part of these companies in the US. That's when the interest started.
Sure. So the interest starts, you're in varsity, you finish varsity. When the interest started, did you do anything about it? Or was it just a matter of you're intrigued by this and you didn't really pursue it?
Yes, I was just intrigued.
Yeah.
But I didn't know where to start, you know?
I see.
Because, I was just intrigued and like, but how do you become part of this? And then obviously you just have to follow what everybody's doing. You apply for a 9 to 5, you get your job, you start working. After that, things happen at work and then you get fired. And then that's where now you're like, I don't think I'll ever work again. You know, and then you are in my case, it was hard. Fortunately, I had a very strong support system.
Okay.
My wife, my family, you know, they were there for me. It was hard, man. Depressed, no income, and then by God's grace, there was a time when Ref Wayne came to Botswana.
Okay.
This was just before I got fired. I think somehow the universe always works in our favor. If you open your eyes a bit, you'll see that everything that happens for you. So Ref Wayne did a big free seminar in Gabs. And then I'm like, okay, this is the time. Forex. And everybody was just saying, this is a scam. He came to Botswana, 10 gaps upside down. And that time I was still working. 10 gaps upside down, and I'm like, wow, this guy is big. He had like this gold-plated BMWs and what, you know. For me, it has always been about motivation, not envy. Just how did this person get there? That was always, I've always lived by my how, where, you know. Then I went there, and then, okay, after that, obviously you are working. You can't just quit and say, I'm pursuing this, because you are not really sure. You know what I'm saying? So, and then, long story short, things happen at my workplace, and then it's a bit of a mess, and then I quit. After that, so actually I didn't quit. I was fired.
Okay.
Yes. And then I was home, depressed. My wife was there for me through thick and thin, tough as it was. You know, when you've always been friends with people, and things happen to you. That's when you realize who your true homies are, who your true people are. And in that dark space, everybody just leaves. You call them and they don't pick up. I was in a meeting. I was busy. I missed your call. Sometimes you don't even have airtime to call. That's how you send a call back. I didn't see your call back. Obviously, you are asking for I don't know, help in a way. Maybe buy me electricity or, you know, basic stuff, because you are not able to, you have kids, and bro, it was hard. But that's when I had to pull up my socks, and because I was fired, I didn't want to work ever again. And I'm like, and there was a time my wife was like, just apply for a job, and you know, you get a job. I'm like, I'm not going there. Then she's like, what? Then what are you going to do? That's when the Forex bug bit me. You know, with less distractions, everybody is nowhere to be found, right?
Okay.
That's when you start realizing your true strength. You start realizing you need to focus more. You start realizing that you are on your own. You start realizing that nobody owes you anything, you know? And I started now doing a bit of research online.
And what year is this? Sorry, what year is this?
This is like 2016.
2016, okay.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I can do this. Now I remember Ref Wayne. Okay, cool. And by the way, back in those days, nobody in Botswana knew anything about Forex. if there was someone, then they were doing it on the low. You know, and then fortunately, I had to come here and I reached out to Ref, and then I had to sell one of my cars. We had two Sokorokoros, I don't know what you call, like beat up cars.
Yeah, no, same thing.
My wife, you know, my wife was like, "Are you selling this car for real, to pursue this thing?" I'm like, there's no plan B for me. This is my plan. I'm investing my heart and soul and everything into this. She's like, okay, at least she gave me a blessing. And then I sold the car, packed my bags, came to Joburg. Obviously, my dad lives here. And then I had access to Ref. I had to pay. I don't know whether I have to disclose the amount. But yeah, it was...
It's up to you.
It was like a five-figure, like 10K.
Okay.
Rent. And I had to pay it and started learning from scratch. I had been doing my own research online, obviously, and then it's not like I was clueless. But yeah, he took me through everything. I started learning the business side of it. You know, he took me under his wing, literally. And yeah, I don't know. Then we just started from there.
Yeah. You know, that's a serious conviction to be in a place where you have nothing going on for you and then see something and be like, actually, I am going to pursue this. Selling a car and saying that, no, I'm going to Joburg. This is what I want to do and whatnot. Where do you think that conviction came from? Was it just a matter of you were backed up in a corner and you had to do something?
Like I said, everything that happens for you. And I didn't have a choice. I was like, it's either this or nothing. And the spirit in me, or the die-hard spirit in me, said, this is your thing. You need to do this. You need to push. You need to learn. You need to give it your all. And with the motivation that Ref gave, sorry, because remember, sometimes all you need is access. Once you have access to someone, you don't take it for granted. Yeah. You see how they live, you see how they trade, and then you are like just amazed, and you are like, okay, I have to do this with all my heart. And the conviction just came from how life had humbled me, and I needed to pick up the pieces and, you know, rebuild my life. And I was like, there's no way life is checkmating me. I need to man up. I need to man up. And once I saw someone really doing it, and he just gave me the baton and I ran with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is beautiful. So you get the side, you're studying, you going through the course. What's happening at this point with the trading now? Have you started? Have you deposited anything?
Before I go there, there's a story that happened. Obviously, one, I learned on my own, right?
Okay.
Learned on my own on YouTube like everybody else. And then I'm like, I can do this on my own. But I figured everything out on my own. I'm like, okay, there's brokers. So brokers are what links us retail traders to the market. I'm not asking anybody any question. I'm just doing everything online. And then there was some broker in the US. No, in the UK. I shouldn't mention the broker, right? So then I'm like, okay, I just Googled, and then the one broker came up. Then I opened up, signed up. Then I got a call. I almost didn't pick up the call. And then I picked up the call. This is so-and-so from such and such a broker. We see that you've signed up. How much do you want to deposit? I'm like, I think I said $50 or something. They were like, no, our back in the day, minimum to fund was like 200, 300.
Yeah.
So I had a bit of money from my benefits, like my terminal benefits. So, and then I funded with $432. This was before I came to Ref.
Okay.
I funded with my for like $432. I still remember $432.
Yeah.
And I loved Nasdaq so much because I could see Ref doing it, and then a few other guys, the cash flows were pushing. There was one guy, Masilela, I don't know, I think his name is something Masilela, part of that generation, Nebo Ref. And then I'm like, okay, Nasdaq. And you don't have a strategy, you don't know anything. I went in. If Nasdaq is buying, I place a buy. And then jiggy, there will be a bit of a sell. I close the sell. I close the buy. I go into the sell. Before you know it, it's pushing up again. At the end of the day, you are just moving round in circles. You don't even know anything about the US session, the Aussie session, the Japanese session, the Asian session. Then I'm like, hey, in 2 weeks, the money was gone. And then I would fund again. Another 200 was gone. And then I thought, no, man, I need to focus now. This is the time for me to reach out to Ref, right? And then, obviously, after that, there was like 3 months down the line. And then that's when the course started, like you were asking. The course started, you start realizing that, okay, there's this, there's the technicals, there's the fundamentals, there's the sentimental side of it. There's actually even TV stations that are solely focusing on the markets, like your Bloomberg, your CNBC, and then I'm like, wow, this thing is huge. And it actually turned out exactly the way I had imagined it.
Okay.
And then, wow, I'm like, wow, I'm intrigued. Then all the gray areas that I had started to, you know what I'm saying, I started to figure out that, okay, this is where I was making a mistake. This is where and then Ref was like, the whole point of this thing is to fund with money you can't lose and try to flip it, withdraw, flip it. Yeah, basically that's how. Yeah, but the course was nice. It was really.
Yeah. Okay, so now you are at a place. No problem. Now you're at a place where you've got the knowledge, you've acquired the skill, this guidance, you've received guidance at this to some degree. Now you need to get back into the market. What is the journey like going back into the market now? Because now, this is 2016, 2017?
Yeah, this is like now almost 2017.
2017 at this point. Now you need to go and face the market again. Because right now you were already down like $600.
Actually more.
More.
Yeah, I think I lost, before I started being profitable, I lost close to 30K.
In
Pulas.
In Pulas.
Yeah,
So
30K in Pulas is like... in rands, it's like maybe 35,000, 36,000.
okay. So the difference is not that.
Yeah, it's not that much.
Yeah, not that much. So yeah, now you're down. Now it's a matter of now you need to go trade again. What does that journey look like? Can you paint a picture for us? Because one thing I would really want to point out is that at this point you are unemployed, correct?
Definitely.
Forex is all you have, and Forex needs to work out. You have a family, there's pressures. Because I really want to also discuss the pressures of being, having a family. You need to provide for kids as well. But at the same time, you need to go and face this market as well. And you need to make something out of yourself, out of this market. I really want to get into that because I think so many people find themselves in those positions right there. And I think we always say that, trade with money, you can't lose. But if you're unemployed,
bro,
all the money
down the drain.
And all the money is money that you can't lose.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Actually, before I sold the car.
Okay.
You are not gonna believe this. I humbly, because you are excited and your wife is also happy that her man is now back on his feet, right? So after I lost the other monies, I asked my wife, baby, can you give me? I think this Forex thing needs me to fund with a bigger amount, because if I fund with Madinya, I'm a smaller money, it's just going to wipe it out. But
Yeah.
and that's actually not the case.
Yeah.
Then my wife like, how much do you want? I was like, I think I need $1,000. She's like, okay, but we don't have money. I'm like, trust me, if you give me $1,000, I'm going to bring it back in a day or two, or maximum a week max. She's like, okay. She worked in the finance space, so she had access to a bit of money, right?
Okay.
So at work, she went, got the $1,000. I funded the account. Guess what? In less than 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all the money was gone. And now I'm scared to tell her that I've lost the money.
Yeah, what's that conversation looking like at
Yo.
this point?
She didn't know, right?
Okay.
So 2-3 weeks passes. And she knew that I had said, give me a bit, like just a week, I'll bring back the money. So the money was gone. A week passes. I'm stressed now. The second week passes, she just keeps quiet. My wife is a very calm person. She's a very nice person, really. So a week passes, and then the second week, towards the end of the second week, she's like, how far are you with your Forex trading? These days, you don't seem excited like before. Stress. You Nqobile. Can you imagine what happened there was like, okay, this guy, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you can keep talking.
Okay.
Mike.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. So my wife was like, what's happening? I'm like, no, baby, don't worry. I'm making money. I've actually made more. Just watch and see. At that time, I'm lying. I don't know how to start the conversation, how to convince. Deep down, you have this burning desire to make it, and you are just disappointing your woman, disappointment after disappointment. Then the second week, I'm like, I have to man up and tell her. I'm like, baby, all the money is gone. You know what she said to me? And those words were the words that made me to really push. They turned me into a beast. I'm like, there's no way I'm disappointing my woman. I have to go all in and sell the car, sell everything if push comes to shove. She's like, I know, I love you, and we always support each other. But I think you just have to swallow your pride. Go find a job, apply for, there's so many opportunities out there. Just get your certificates in order and forget this Forex thing. Clearly, you are now just bringing poverty into the house. You are, it's more problems after problems.
And this is supposed to be the thing that brings you out of poverty.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Those words, they hit me so hard, Nqobile. I'm like, wow. And then I just kept quiet. She went on talking. She's like, no, just forget this thing. This thing is not working for you. How much money have you lost by now? And sometimes I would just deposit money behind her back, trying to prove. I think I made a few withdrawals. Smaller nyana, but you withdraw and then you lose it and you fund again. So after that conversation, after I lost the $1,000, I'm like, I have to prove this woman. I have to do it for my family. I have to make sure this thing works. That's when now I went to Refuing. Then your question was?
No, my question basically is, you're unemployed at this point. I want to talk about the pressures. You have a family.
Oh, yeah.
You're backed up against the wall. And you're saying Forex needs to work out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So after I acquired the knowledge, your question was how then after all the whole course is done, I have to face the market. That was the question.
Yes.
So I had to, obviously there's the psychological side of it where you don't have to have fear. Like when you are trading, you've learned all the technicals. You've learned that there's news, there's candlesticks, there's bullish, what, all the terms, and then you see, okay, so this part works with this. This news actually moved the market like this, and the market movers are this news and this news and this news. And then obviously you have to come up with a strategy to say, okay, you have obviously a trading plan. trading plan, you follow your trading plan, you trade 1, 2, 3. Like in my case, I like all this European indices because I'm just intrigued by business, And then there's the psychological side of it, to say for you not to have fear, you need to risk. Like your risk reward ratio has to, you know what I'm saying? So now I go back home, I have the money because I sold the car, I have the confidence from being mentored by one of the biggest, if not the best, a story for another day. So I started doing, pushing, trading. He told me, don't fund with a lot of money. Do this, do that. Don't open many positions. Follow your trading plan. Exit points, stop loss, this, that. And then obviously you start having that confidence to say, and then he puts you in his signals group, like the community that he has built. You know what I'm saying? So with that, now I had a bit of confidence to say, now I can face the market. And then once you start making your first withdrawal, the rest is history. Yeah. And I always tell people that you're very big, like the biggest, your first withdrawal, whether big or small, get yourself something that will always remind you where you come from. Either a watch or, I don't know, a clock or something for keeps, not snacks or even shoes if you want. Something that will always remind you where you come from, where it all started. And yeah, like I said, from there I started pushing. And
what did you get yourself?
I love watches.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I got myself am I allowed to mention the name?
Yeah.
I got myself this, what was it again? This low brands nyana, what was it? I can't, but it's not the Rolls Royce, not the Rolex. Rolex is too expensive, right? But it was a smaller brand. So yeah, that's about it. And then, because obviously you always have to look at it when you, looking at the time and stuff. But yeah, I got myself that watch and then started building from there.
Yeah. That's cool. So now I want to talk about pressure right now, especially dealing under pressure of now you having to provide for your family and whatnot. How does that affect your trading at this point? Because how did you deal with that and having to provide for the family?
For me, it was just eyes on the ball.
Okay.
Eyes on the ball. Everything will take care of itself. Once you are able to get $1 from the market, you'll be able to get $100. You'll be able to get 1,000. You'll be able to get, you go on, and because like this is like a $7 trillion. There's no limit to how much you can make. And with the eyes on the ball mentality, everything takes care of itself. You look at the market, and then you are like, I need to make money. If you make losses, you have to take it on the chin. And yeah, slowly you withdraw, the money starts building in the account, and you also now have a bit of confidence. And now I was happy that at least I can put a smile on my wife's face, after all the disappointment that I had, or the stress that I put through her, or put her through. So I then from there, the pressure eases. Because once you start making your first withdrawal, it becomes a bit relatively easy.
Interesting. You refer to yourself as a professional trader.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, a lot of people probably just go around saying, nah, I'm a trader. But I like how you no, not just a trader, a professional trader. I just want to talk about professionalism. Just discussing that a little bit.
Obviously, you know how it is. Not if you don't know everything about the market will humble you. Yeah, and the thing about me, being exposed to ref, I would say was the best thing that has ever happened to my life.
Yeah.
And once you become a professional trader, you just see how much money you like, how you trade, the trading style, and from there you just start building. You build a community of traders. They're also profitable, because as a professional trader, you need to be very profitable. Not just profitable, but very profitable. And the losses will be part of the game, and you have to man up and face every challenge that brings into the market. Yeah, and then obviously once you realize that actually there is a gap here, people are suffering. How do I also help? How do I try to bring this Forex thing to Botswana? How do I, because a lot of people just dismiss it as a scam, and then you start building from there. You mentor other people, you partner with others, I started partnering with your HFM, which is a very good broker, right? And obviously as a professional, you can't just partner with any broker. You need to know that people's money are safe. You set up a business, it's a business that, like Botswana Forex Institute.
Yes.
Some people call it Princess of Forex, because my business partner, the one who runs it behind the scenes, is a woman. So we set it up after we realized that this is like 2019 now.
Yeah.
2 years later, we build a community of traders. They start making money, and then with the community, now once it starts rubbing off from others, it just spreads like wildfire. And I would say we were one of the pioneers, or I would say we were one of the pioneers of Forex in Botswana.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, because when someone helps you, you also need to help other people,
No, that is so true. That is so true. So let's talk about the Botswana Forex scene right now compared to what you see here in Joburg. Can we note some of the differences you've been able to spot over the years, and how different are the traders that you've met in Botswana compared to the traders you've met in Gauteng?
The funny thing is, most people in Botswana, they don't understand Forex. It's so many years later, people still think it's a scam. But the painful thing is, I know Forex is not a scam, right? If you look at, I'll answer your question. I just want to if you look at all the billionaires, like maybe 80% of the billionaires in the world, the ones that we know, they are technically their money from Forex. If you look at LVMH, am I allowed to say that?
Yeah, you can.
LVMH is a group of companies owned by Mr. Bernard Arnault. He's French. This is a company that has subsidiaries such as your Fendi, your Hennessy, your Moët, your Louis Vuitton. But people everyone is part of Forex, but they are not even aware. If you look at, there's another company called the Kering Group in France. These are part of the top 40 companies in France. Kering Group has companies like Gucci. It's owned by Gucci. Is it Gucci? Francois Pinault. He's now the current CEO. But people just think, this is just a label. We just consume, but we don't ask ourselves when Forbes magazine releases the top 100 billionaires in the world, we don't ask ourselves, how are these people making their money? People are not intrigued enough to, if you look at Visa, for example, the one that we swipe that swiping card, it's written Visa at the back. Visa is part of the Forex market. It's actually one of the top companies in the US. If you look at Shell, petrol station, is part of the group in the UK, the top 100 companies in the UK. So you have to do a bit of research to see that this thing actually works. Then with that knowledge, with that, with that whatever experience and technical know-how, you start realizing that, no, this thing works like this. So going back to your question, in Botswana, a lot of people were just clueless. And when you just come across the border, there's so many people living the life because of Forex. And then in Botswana, there was no one by that time. I think there was, after we started, there was one guy. But they were more into synthetics.
Oh, yeah.
That is where the problem is. And by the way, synthetics are not real Forex. Like your cash, what. Forex is actually foreign exchange, which means what? One currency against another, you sell and buy based on the like supply and demand kind of thing. So and then you start having that community, you build it, and from there people start actually believing that, okay, but in short, to cut a long story short, our Forex industry is still way behind. We are still at the beginning.
Okay. What challenges are you guys facing that side?
You are not going to believe this. The banks.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God. They just tell you, where is this money coming from? Well, then they start asking all sorts of questions. Sometimes they'll freeze your account. But things have gotten better because they've seen that this generation, and also we have a new government now. But not like, I'm not saying, I don't want to sound political, but that's one of the challenges that we have. So as an affiliate to HFM, we found a way around it. We were like, okay, let's use mobile money, because banks will always be asking questions. Not to say you can't withdraw you can't trade and withdraw through banks. Some banks are just lenient and they'll just let you do your thing, so long as you pay your taxes and whatever. But yeah, we are really pushing. But that's one of the major challenges, because they'll be like, where is this money coming from? And da-da-da-da-da. But what can you do? You just have to keep on keeping on. And the other thing is, one of the challenges is that a lot of people don't really understand much about it, because we are from different professions. You might be a lawyer, she might be a nurse, I might be a bricklayer, but we are intelligent in our own ways. It doesn't mean if I know Forex, if someone knows Forex and they are into the finance space, as a bricklayer or a carpenter, you can't learn. So the challenge is changing people's minds and how, trying to convince them. It's like you have to beg people to learn. But actually they are the ones who are supposed to be coming to you and saying, how did you do this?
Yeah.
Because, the painful thing is, you remember all the sleepless nights that you went through to have all this vast knowledge, but nobody's coming not nobody actually, a lot of people are not coming to learn, but it's not about forcing people to learn. The good thing is, people are now coming on board and realizing that we now have a few traders in Botswana who have made it, like those who will be always making noise on social media with their verpas and whatnot. Some will just be very arrogant and being loud and doing all sorts of things. In a way, it puts Forex out there in a way.
That is true.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what you trade right now. I know you trade gold, you trade indices. Can you just go through the list of indices that you trade? Because I'm very intrigued by what you trade actually.
Wow, that's a very good question. But like I told you, the first time when I heard of Forex, it was the Dow Jones thing, right?
Yes.
This is like the top 30 industrial companies in the US. Then I got to know that in South Africa, there's the top 40 companies.
Yeah.
Like your Woolworths, your Pep, you name it, your Sasol, your Vodacom. So now I realized it's not only a US thing. We also have indices in the UK, like the FTSE 100. That's one of the things that I trade. It's very easy to predict and very easy to analyze. So in Europe, right, there's the UK 100, there's the CAC 40 or France 40. That's one of the things I trade. The DAX 40, the top 40 companies in Germany. This is like your Siemens, your Adidas, the Adidas that we wear, you know, all those companies that they'll be falling under that index or the futures for the top 40. Then I realized, okay, in Japan also they have the Nikkei. In Australia, they have the AU 200, you know, and then I'm like, wow. And in India, they have the Nifty 50. So if you are trading the Asian session, you would actually see that futures are easy to predict because if you follow them, like on Bloomberg or on the market, you realize that if there's something that happens in the market, there will be a day that they will just be selling something negative. The Indian stocks will just be selling. You just go with the sell. You go to the European session, they'll also be selling. You go to the US. So it's more like they move in almost the same pattern. So when you follow it, it just becomes easy. Going back to your question, I trade the UK 100, the DAX 40, and the US 30. And obviously NASDAQ and gold, like you said.
You say they move almost the same, but what would you note are a bit of like the differences between the different markets? Are there any differences like between the markets, like, you know, in terms of like movement wise, points wise? Do you find that the US indices move a bit more volatile than the indices in, you know, UK or France?
Beautiful question, Ravi. This is how it works. If you look at the trading sessions, right, and you know the times, like the trading session that starts the trading day will be the Aussie session, and then will be followed by the Asian session. So during the Asian session, which is like from 3 a.m. to around 11 a.m. South African time, which is also Botswana time, the Asian stocks or indices, they will move faster, right? They will move faster. And then you come to the European session, 10 a.m. when the market opens, the London session opens, the stocks start moving faster, like your DAX, and then it just becomes easy to predict. And then obviously you don't just move, you also have to know the technicals to say if this reaches a support, it needs to turn and start buying, or you wait for a bullish engulfing candlestick, then the market starts buying, you know. But if you observe and you have the experience that we have acquired over the years, you realize that at 10 a.m., like in the morning, the European stocks, they start moving like crazy up until 7 p.m., right? And then the US indices, they start moving from around 3:30. Everybody knows that. Yeah, you can go in at 3:30, boom, big lot size, out. You made yourself like tons of money in just no time. And obviously this will, when the European sessions closes at 7, the liquidity or the volume starts going down for the European session. Then the US will push until maybe around 11, and then they will close. After that, the market goes quiet. If you are in the Asian session, you know, you can trade the Nikkei, you can trade the Kospi, you can trade the Hang Seng, you know. So yeah, that's how nice indices are.
Yeah. How did you decide that you're going to trade these ones? Because it sounds like you have knowledge on quite a wide range of them, but you're only trading like, 4 of them? You said the DAC.
The DAX. The CAC 40, the UK 100. Actually, it's 5, and the US 30 and the NASDAQ.
Why decide to just focus on those ones? Because to me, it sounds, you know why I'm asking that? To me, it sounds like already you could be trading from Aussie, Asia, whatnot. You could just, each session, just you eating one way.
True that. But you know the biological clock, man. You need to rest.
Okay.
And you can't also overtrade. Because if you overtrade now, you start losing focus, you forget fundamentals, you forget this. So going back to your question, I've always been motivated by the wealthy people.
Okay.
I've always been motivated by. So if you were to pay attention, the big movers, I think, let me just put it this way. if you were to just go on Google right now and say top 10 billionaires in the world, who's gonna pop up? Larry Page, Google, Tesla, Elon Musk, Microsoft, Bill Gates, Bernard Arnault, LVMH. Who else? Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. Facebook is part of the top 100 companies, the Nasdaq Tech.
Yeah.
So what made me to decide to say, okay, these are the ones I'm gonna trade, was the fact that, okay, if Bernard Arnault is the richest man there was a point he was the richest according to Forbes, right? Mm-hmm. I can actually be part of this, and obviously you have to do your research. That's the first thing. You have to know, if they say the UK 100, what makes up the UK 100? Rolls-Royce is part of the UK 100. BMW, part of the DAX 40. Mercedes-Benz, part of the... And then you realize that these are legit companies that you can see. Allianz, and then it becomes easy to trade them because, if you go to Bloomberg or what is it, Ghana? Bloomberg.com. You go and read, this is what has happened. Tesla has fired... I'm just giving an example. Has fired 3,000 employees because of maybe COVID. You actually see it reflecting on the indices. If something negative happens to the big five, like in the US, the big five being Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and so on and so forth, you realize, wow, actually, if something negative happens, there'll just be a sell-off at the open. And if something is brewing, something positive in the market, they'll just shoot up and shoot up and shoot up. Then there was a time I told people, I remember I was in Dubai when it happened. You remember the first shutdown for Facebook? When Facebook just blacked out.
Oh, yes, actually.
This was like 2021.
Yeah,
around 1st of October or something. We were actually on our way back from the Forex Expo in Dubai. So Facebook shut down. When it shuts down, I know I might be wrong, but this is a way of having the stock to sell. Because it would have been pushing up and up and up and up. Then you realize they'll say Mark Zuckerberg has lost 10 billion of his fortune. And you are like, does someone really have 10 billion? But because of the stock, whatever size and what, they have to make sure at some point it pulls back. I don't know if I'm making sense.
I'm with you. I'm following.
Yes. So if, for example, Tesla makes, earnings season, right? If all the companies like your Barclays, your Shell, your Tesla, your Coca-Cola, your Nike, if we have a good quarter, when earnings season comes and the estimates are correct, you just see, like if all companies are profitable, you see the stock or the indices shooting up. So that's how I was like, I have to stick to these ones.
We are no longer scavengers of information, but discerners of information. We're living in an information era right now. Information is key. It's very vital and important, and I think it's always been the case, actually. Truth be told, when you go back in time and you look now, and even going into the future, it's about who has the most valuable information. Now, there's somebody at home, even me myself, I'm sitting here, I'm listening to you, I'm like, okay, no. Sledge is talking. He's talking about all these indices, all these companies right now. He's talking about the UK 200, the Aussie 200, the UK 100. Okay, cool. But now that's so much information for one person to gather. How are you able to put all the information, or rather discern which information should you be looking at?
Thank you for the question, Nqobile. Obviously, after you gather all the information and you see that it actually works because you are making money out of it, you are like, we need to show a lot of people the way, that there is actually another way of making this thing work. there was a time people were like, education is the future. Educate. Back in the day, you need to study. Go study and get a job. Go. Right now, we are all educated, but there are no jobs. But when you have a smartphone, you have internet, you are sorted. That's actually, you are at least a step closer to getting the information, right? So now, once you've been there and you know that this thing works like this and this and this, we start building our community, like I said, of traders, right? And then you tell them that this is how this works. You simplify it in a very simple manner so that they understand that this thing works like this thing works like this thing works. Then, I remember during COVID, right? Actually, not before COVID, because we started our community 2019. And we had classes, like physical classes. We have an office, we would have classes, and then people started learning. They started making money out of it. I remember there was one lady, she was like, you know what, I paid like 30K and I was only taught candlesticks. But look at how much you guys, you understand what I'm saying? Because some people always say, why do you charge people to trade when you are making money from the market? But when you don't charge people, when you don't put a price on the knowledge and the what that you know, when you don't charge someone to learn something, they don't take it seriously. But once you put a price to it, they are like, okay, I need to be serious and focus on this thing, right? And give it my all. So what then happens is, once you because you've been exposed to so much and you know so much, you need to try and simplify the knowledge to the layman that you are teaching. And if they are eager to learn, so you'll be like, join in, let's go. And then you start building your Telegram channel, your WhatsApp channels, and you just keep pushing and pushing. You build communities. Just yesterday, one guy in one of our thing bought a brand new car from Forex.
Yeah.
And we have a seminar coming up. We are still pushing. We have a seminar coming up. It's free. We're doing exactly what Ref taught me, I would say. Just to try and disseminate as much information as possible. We are doing this with HFM. We booked one of the biggest hotels, biggest venues in Gaborone to try and help people get out of this mess that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, no, that's great. So what I think also the other thing I'm also trying to figure out is that, okay, how much time do you actually spend, like, or do you think it's just accumulation of years of just reading through news reports and all that? Because right now, when you talk about the NASDAQ, you're not just talking about NASDAQ, you're talking about the companies listed under NASDAQ, I think somebody at home might be wondering, it's like, okay, Sledge, I hear what you're saying, but do I need to go find all those 100 companies and keep up to date with all of them?
You were saying how much time do I spend?
Yeah, do you spend, and as well as like, also the other question is, Sledge, do I need to, as somebody sitting at home, go to the NASDAQ, find the top 100 companies that are listed under NASDAQ, and do I need to keep up with all of them?
No, it's not as complicated as it sounds. But the thing is, like, we have the MetaTrader, right? It has all the things. You just need your phone, you download the app. But what you need to do to stay ahead as a professional trader, you always have to know what's happening in the market. Always. For me, it's like fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm antisocial, I think. I love being by myself and figuring new things, and for me it just gives me life. I know we are not the same, but because me and my team, we are always abreast with what's happening around the world. It's easy for us to even send signals and say, buy this, sell that. And once you disseminate this information to the people and you teach them, you also tell them that, guys, for you to stay ahead of the pack, learn about all this fundamental news, your interest rates, your CPI, your NFP, your this. You can't just be excited about this celebrity that did this and then it starts trending and you are part of it. At least go to the trending things on the market because it will make money for you. What you do with your time is very valuable. When they say time is money, they literally mean that. If you waste your time on, I would deem some things unnecessary, you won't make money. You know?
Yeah, time is a currency.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that they're spending recklessly most of the times.
Imagine wasting your data on I don't know, man.
Something useless.
Something useless.
Yeah, people don't see the time as being the same thing. It should be the same with money. The way you see money should be the way you see your time, because there's a reason why they say time is money, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier on you spoke about trading without fear. I think it was we're busy talking about how your journey started with Forex and where you needed to put fear aside, because I really believe that trading without fear is a psychological skill that, not a lot of people really conquer that mountain. Yeah, because I think fear is always present somehow, because I think we're always fearful of losing what we've worked so hard to get. But like, how do you stay in a place of like knowing that, hey, fear one side?
First of all, Nqobile, you have to know that between you and your destiny, there's going to be fear. I don't know whether I'm putting it your destiny, to reach your destiny or what you are destined for in life. There'll be so many obstacles along the way, with fear included, right? So sometimes you need to say, you know what, I can't do this. I need to focus and do 1, 2, 3. But going back to your question, when you are still new, you are a beginner. I always like saying a beginner, not a newbie. You need to, you'll be trading. Obviously, you trade on a demo. And when you are trading on a demo, it's like you are playing a game, right? You'll be making all this money. It's like $3,000, $400, and you are now like, I'm ready for the real market now. Then you go to the market, you start panicking. But the thing is, there's certain things that you need to learn, like your risk management and the fundamentals. Like risk management, when you trade, let's say you have an account for $400, there's lot sizes that you need to. You can't open huge lots and expect the market to be easy on you, unless you know what you are doing. Once you know what you are doing, it's easy. But get the information first, and then you can open so many positions on a very small account. The thing is, people have greed is also part of the.
Yeah.
It contributes to fear, because if you are greedy, if you make $400, you want $800. If you make $800, you want $1,000 whatever dollars. But you have to know when to trade, follow your trading plan, and fear will slowly get out of the way, because when when your risk management is on point, you have your stop losses, your this. There are times when I put trades and then I just sleep. Yeah, I just sleep. Some people say, no, it's because when you have this, you have an account that is like, but it's not even the case. The fear will always be there, but you can't live your life on fear. You have to focus and push. And then once you get the assurance, the withdrawals come, you see that this thing is working, you just stick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about gold real quick. Do you see gold going to 3,000?
Yeah. There was a time, I remember, me and Ref were saying, we had a discussion, and he was like, gold will reach 3,000 by 2028. But look now, it's what? Almost at 20, it's 2,800,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
correct.
2,800. So it's gold is amazing, man. Very soon it should reach 3,000.
Oh yeah,
It will.
it will.
Because do you remember? Do you know that gold? There was a time gold was weaker than platinum.
Okay.
This is like many years ago. But the good thing with gold is the correlation between gold and the US dollar. When the US dollar weakens, gold keeps shooting up. But right now, the correlations are not even matching, surprisingly.
Okay.
Because I think it's been bullish for what? 2, 3, 4 months now. It's been going on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, to answer your question, it should touch 3,000 soon.
Soon. What mainly moves gold prices? I know that sounds like a very basic question, but I think some people, because we have so many gold traders here in South Africa, not just South Africa, but there's so many gold traders. If we refer to Africa as a whole, people see gold and see, no, it's a gold mine. What would you say are some of the factors that are causing this move to go up and up and up?
The demand for gold.
Okay.
The demand for the actual gold.
Yeah.
Because that price, it's like when you interpret it in the financial language, you say the price of gold is 2,800 per ounce.
Correct.
That's the price for gold, right? So the demand for gold right now, gold is a commodity. It's driven by different market factors, economic, whatever. So, but to cut a long story short, the demand for gold is the one that is pushing the price up.
Okay.
And also, one thing that you have to know is the correlation between gold and the US dollar. Gold is pegged on the US dollar. It's also pegged on the Aussie dollar. It's also pegged on the AU, on the Australian dollar. And back in the day, the New Zealand and Australia were once the biggest exporters of gold. That's why there is a correlation between gold and the dollar. So if you look at how the gold is paid, right? It's XAU USD. And then if you look at the Aussie dollar, it's AUD USD. And then if you look at New Zealand dollar, it's NZD USD. Remember, gold is XAU USD.
Okay.
So they are positively correlated. If the dollar strengthens, we expect gold to sell. And if the dollar weakens, gold prices keep shooting up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes there is a holding everything constantly, what we call ceteris paribus in economics.
Okay.
Holding everything constantly, that's what should happen. But sometimes market factors can also, like your demand, your what, can also make the correlation to be a bit jumbled up,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fundamental, technical. I know that you use both. One can't be without the other. Why is that?
For me, I would say we are trading, we are not gambling, right? There are people who are more on the fundamental side, because if it's fundamentals, let's say Mr. Bailey, the UK governor, is about to release the interest rate for the UK or for the Bank of England. We know that if they reduce the interest rate for the UK, the pound is going to weaken somehow, depending on the technicals, right? So if it weakens, it makes the pound to be weak. GBP USD, you would sell, right? But if you're a fundamental trader, you just go in, make your money based on that, then come out. For me, it's like you are not doing... It's being a lazy way of doing money. I'm not saying it's not okay, but you need to know both for you to say you know what you are doing. Hey, if there is no fundamentals, then it means you can't make money. You have to wait for the fundamental. I know there is fundamental news almost every day, but you have to know both so that you know that, okay, the technicals have to complement the fundamentals complement the technicals. They move. You have to marry the two. You have to what's the word? You have to reconcile the two to say if there's if there's a reversal also, you need to know why there's a reversal. Because if price was to shoot up to the resistance, definitely has to be a reversal. If it shoots down to the support, so if you don't know your technicals, you'll be thinking price will continue shooting up, but the technicals are saying. So if you don't know your technicals, you are just a fundamental trader. You just be saying, it will keep going up, up. You don't even realize there's a resistance somewhere. Price is about to turn.
Yeah.
Before you know it, all the money that you've made, it's now back to almost zero. So that's why it's very important to marry the two and master them.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
Yes.
You get invited to the Dubai Forex Expo 2021. Was it just 2021? I think it was for 2 years, right? Great.
Yeah. 2 years.
2 years.
2021 and 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. There was a competition that we were doing with some people around the world. Remember I was affiliated to HFM, right? So there was a competition that we were doing. And they like, okay, the best trader in Africa is going to go. The one who comes up with 1, 2, 3 is going to go. And fortunately, we pushed and I was invited as one of the speakers at the booth that we had there. And it was amazing.
No, that's
my first time in Dubai.
Yeah.
I've been there now several times, and then I got invited again. Once you are in the space, you are good to go.
That's true.
And then there was a time I also went to the Kuala Lumpur Forex Summit. It was also amazing. But when you start something, you don't even think that far. You just think, no, I'm just trying to fix my life.
Yeah.
And in the process, you fix your life, you fix other people's lives, Yeah, and it's been quite an amazing, and I thank God and my family every day for that.
No, that is beautiful. That is beautiful. How do you say the surname? Chizhala.
Yes.
It sounds like from, what do you call this, Wakanda. Chizhala.
That's fine.
Sledge Chizhala, but you're also known as the boss.
That's what our students call me.
Yeah.
It's a name I got from my students. So yeah, man, they call me the boss. I had to just accept the name. Yes. I don't know for what reason. Yeah.
Can you just quickly run through what has been biggest loss you've taken on the charts?
There's been a lot.
And like I always say to people, it doesn't have to be a monetary value loss, just a loss where you look back and that even if it was 50 Rand, that's still my biggest loss.
You know what, Nqobile?
Yes.
If I lose 20,000 because I was negligent, I know it's not that painful, you know. But the biggest loss that I always talk about, was when I took $200. Listen, I took $200 this was years back. $200 to $1,600 in one day. Not trading news or anything, just going with what the market is doing that. So I took $200. I started trading in the US session. This is around 3 p.m. going. I guess the times change when it's winter. That side, the time switches.
This is 3:30.
Right now it's 3:30.
Okay, yeah.
So when it's winter there now, right? When it's summer, they start at the opening starts around there is the cash equities that starts at 3, but the indices will be at 3:30. Yeah. And then during summer there, it will be 2 p.m. And just like that. So now I took this $200 to $1,600. That day I didn't sleep. Oh yeah. I was trading throughout, like from around 4 p.m. I pushed around 12 midnight. I was sitting at around 1,200. This is from $200. Yeah. Then I pushed it again around 4 p.m. No, actually around 2 p.m. I was sitting at 1,600.
Yes. A.M., yeah.
A.M. Yes. I didn't sleep. I was excited. Greed, my brother. So I pushed when, long story short, at 4 a.m., actually around 5, I was back at $400. 400. Imagine from $200 all the way up to 1,600. In pulas, 1,600, it's like what? 20-something thousand pula. Just from $200. And then, though I didn't want, I overtraded. I was so greedy. It's like I literally took $200 to 400 overnight.
Kissy made a profit.
I'll never ever get through that loss, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man, that's beautiful. Now, Sledge, thank you so much for the time you've taken to come and just share knowledge. Like I always tell people, we always do this for the next person. Honestly, we never do it for ourselves, but honestly for the next person, for the people watching from wherever they are. Thank you so much and it's been such a pleasure and a joy, honestly. Feels like I was schooled today proper.
Thanks so much, Nqobile. But I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for the opportunity. Thanks for being here. Like I said when we started, it's not everyone who comes here, And I would just like to extend my gratitude to the whole team here. And by the way, congratulations on your 100,000
thank you very
followers,
much.
subscribers.
Yes.
So like I said, we have a seminar coming up in Gaborone on the 22nd of this month. In February, 22nd of this month. Is going to be one of the biggest Forex events that we've had. It's very free. Everyone is welcome. You just have to register, reach out to our team. Yeah, man. It's obviously in partnership with HFM. And the whole team is going to be there. We're going to be having fun. There's lots of giveaways and things like that. But yeah, man, thanks a lot for having me. I really appreciate it.
If you guys are looking for Sledge's contact details or reaching out to him or his team, you guys will find them down in the description below or also on screen as well. From myself, Nqobile Tembane, this was another installment of Market Masters. I'll see you guys same time, same place next week, and we're out.